Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord's finally got its next big update. Yes, that's right. 1.2.7 has finally hit consoles. At least it has hit PlayStation 5 at time of recording. Xbox is due to get this momentarily. Now, this is a 17.5 gigabyte update. It's an absolutely monstrous update. It is the update that we have all been waiting for a very, very long time. In fact, this is the update that we assumed we would get in January or February. I am so glad that this update finally hit before the end of the year because it's the one that we have been waiting for so long. Now, we cannot get into everything that this update does bring because, oh my god, does it bring an awful lot to the table. But we are going to go through a few of the things that it does actually bring to the table. And of course, I'm going to include the full patch notes down in the description of the video. I will add the link for you guys. You can browse through those full notes if you want to. What I will say about this update is that it pretty much changes almost everything we know about the game. There is so much that this changes, including an absolute abundance of fixes for the game. So your game should be, in theory, running a hell of a lot smoother than ever before. And of course, don't forget, guys, if this is the kind of content that you want to see, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget we do actually have an active and growing Discord. We've got a ton of Bannerlords players within the Discord as well, so if you want to share your story, if you're stuck on something, or if you just want to share something exciting that happened, then don't forget to join the Discord and come and say hello. The link can be found down in the description of the video. Now, first of all, to kick this video off, you can see we have got the confirmation that the patch 1.2.7 has been released. It has hit consoles, it has hit PlayStation, but there has been a few technical issues when it comes to the Xbox. It does say that this update is actually under certification, and so it should be any day now that it's released on Xbox as well. Now, as I said, guys, we cannot go over all of the changes because seriously, there have been a monstrous amount of changes here. But what we are going to do is cherry pick from the information that I think is the most exciting and that is going to impact our gameplay the most. Now, first up, we have this little beauty. Now, settlement garrison balances have been changed. Now, they have improved the AI garrison donation formula, meaning that parties will donate troops now to your garrison of newly conquered cities based on the amount of troops that they currently have in their party. This for me is absolutely monstrous because it means that we're going to have newly conquered cities actually getting garrison, meaning we don't have to necessarily micromanage that. So if we have a lot of clans in our kingdom, they're going to naturally just want to, bolster those newly conquered towns. This is actually kind of massive because the micromanagement when it comes to your kingdom is kind of huge pre this update. This means that things and the pressure is going to come off you as the king a little bit. And personally, I think this is a welcome change. There has also been some troop AI improvement. Troops and characters with higher fighting skill levels now fight noticeably better than lower level troops. Now, this isn't something I've necessarily noticed beforehand, but it could be really interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how this actually impacts our game going forward, especially as already if we have an army of notably better troops, then we do fight already better and we do feel already overpowered. Is this going to make those already overpowered troops even better? Then we're just gonna have to wait and see, but I'm very excited about this. Now, they've also made a number of changes to the different unit types within their game. They have nerfed some, they have buffed some, but notably, the units have changed massively over what they think is the right decision. So the AI fundamentally has changed. For instance, the infantry will now try and do the move that they think is going to do the most damage at any one time. They've also made it a few fine changes to crafting and to actually smithing those mastercraft and those legendary items. They've also made a change where even if you are not the commander of an army, you can now break out of a siege, which for me is really important because beforehand, if for instance you were a vassal within a kingdom and you joined an army and you ended up attacking a castle, it was impossible for you to break that siege because, of course, you was a part of that army. Now you have the ability to break free, which personally I think is really good, especially if you already know you're going to go to your very doom. Now, they've also changed a few minor things to visual effects as well, added a total of 4 new bandit hideout scenes. They've added 11 new dagger holsters. They've added new images for alley menus and changed the static colors of cloth located on 61 pieces of armor, including making a few various changes to towns and castles as well. I think one of the most important changes here has to be the marriage offer. They have added a new pop up that includes details about the potential bride or groom. Whereas beforehand, we kind of just got an offer and we had to just accept it or decline it there on the spot, not really having any information about it beforehand. They've also made some changes to the Fog of War. Now, the Fog of War got brought in on the last big update. Now you get to ask the tavern keeper to learn more information about the clan that actually own the settlement that you're in. It unlocks all of the clan members' information within the encyclopedia. This is a big deal because sometimes you have been in the game for a very long time. There's still lots of people grayed out. It can be really annoying. This is a way to actually get all that information there and ready for you. Children you have now have random personality traits instead of directly inheriting them from you as well. This one, I'm not too sure if I like this or not. It's going to be interesting. Sometimes I actually kind of like the idea of if I am a git in game, then my children will naturally kind of inherit that trait too. One of the best features added here has to be the fact of the introduction of the warehouses. This feature expands upon the existing workshop mechanics and seeks to provide you with a new trade gameplay loop. This is a really exciting thing that's been added into the game, one that I'm very, very excited to show on the channel as well. The warehouses, I think, is just going to help the game feel a little bit deeper and a little bit more well-rounded, and hopefully allow those workshops to actually work a little bit better for us on console. There's also been a lot of new quests added, a lot of new quest changes as well. And for me, I feel like these new quests, these new changes mean that it could be really viable for you to dive into those quests, especially early game. And yes, the confirmation you have been waiting for, console cheats has now been added to your game as well. So those people on the PlayStation 5 are going to be the first people on console to be able to access those console commands there and there in Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlords. Now, Xbox should be getting this really, really soon, but I'm so excited to see these cheats added. I think that it just enables the player base to have a little bit more freedom to explore this game, because especially if you are new to Bannerlords, then this is an incredibly difficult game to get into, and being able to have access to those cheats are going to be able to allow you to have more fun early on. And of course, there's going to be lots of role play purposes with this as well. So, really excited to see these cheats added. It's going to be interesting to see just how they actually work out on console and what you can actually do with them. But there we go, guys. That is my video for you. These are my top things that I've pulled out of these patch notes. Don't forget, if you want to see the full load of patch notes, I will include the link for you. Um, on top of everything that I have said today, there has been a lot more changes. Besides, a lot of these have been basic fixes, basic performance issues as well. They've done a big deal to try and help and improve the memory of your game, especially in those game sessions that are longer. When you end up playing Mount and Blade for an extended period of time, it does add a lot of stress to the game. So they've done a bit of a tweak to try and enable the game to perform a little bit better with that too. But guys, I have been a monk, we've been a Critically Curious, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel for everything Mount and Blade related, especially to do with the console, because that is exclusively what we cover here on the Critically Curious when it comes to Mount and Blade. But until next time, guys, I will see you later, and don't forget, happy gaming.